Hello and thanks for joining me today. I really don't feel comfortable making this video, and if I sound a little bit nervous, that's why. But I've just had a bit of a wake-up call, which is one of the reasons why I have put judgment in the centre of this group of my cards, because of the wake-up call in the background, and also because my next video that I make about the deck is going to be judgment. But anyway, I've had a bit of a rude awakening, and it's made me realise that although I value my privacy, as I've already stressed in other videos, beyond all things really, I do need to share a bit with you and to reach out to you and ask your advice. I need your help and feedback, please. And to do that, I need to explain what's just happened today. Before I do, I want to stress this in absolute capital letters. This is really important. I am not criticising the publisher of this tarot deck and book in any way whatsoever. I am not complaining about them. It's not criticising Schiffer. I think they've done an absolutely marvellous job creating this deck and book, and I am extremely grateful to them for putting it out into the world. So don't hear this as me making a complaint against them. It really isn't. But what happened was that I've just received my first royalty check, and that should have been a marvellous thing, but sadly it wasn't. This is the first one I've had since the Everyday Enchantment tarot came out last spring, so it's just over a year. So in just over a year, once I've actually converted the cheque from dollars to pounds sterling in Britain, and then paid the bank the foreign cheque transfer fee and all that sort of thing, the amount that will be left for my year's payment would not even cover a week's rent. It's not a year's rent, it wouldn't cover a week's rent, which is quite a shock. Especially because I've worked on this deck and book for over 10 years, and towards the end I was putting in 12-hour days, really put every ounce of myself into this project. I've put all my love and care into it, and it was crafted with all my heart, really, and I hope to goodness that that comes across when you're using it, when you're working with it, that you can feel and experience the love that I put into it. That was the most important thing. The love of it and its message is the most important thing. I never once thought that this project would make me lots of money. I never thought about the money at all. I never do. And none of my work has ever made me money, really. I do it because, well, for the love of it. I feel I've got something valuable to share, not because it's my thoughts, because of the message, because of the actual core, the ethos of what I do, which is basically to communicate the oneness of all beings, the unity and parity of all beings, be they human or non-human, seen or unseen. And that's why every single card has got representatives of our creature kin, unseen beings, and you can see a few of them there, and people, of course. They're all integrated, they're all one. And that was what I wanted. That's what I think, that's what I believe, sincerely believe, that the world needs, that oneness to be understood and to be expressed. But to receive a payment that wouldn't even pay for a month's rent, well, you can imagine it was very distressing. I still feel very upset about it, and I thought this was the best time to make the video while I'm still really processing all of that and can share it with you with a bit of emotion, rather than going away and making a more clinical perfect video. I thought it would be good to be more real, because that's what I strive to do, be real and authentic. Otherwise, what's the point? So it wasn't about me feeling insulted, it wasn't about my ego being bent or damaged or whatever, but it was because the deck isn't selling, clearly. It isn't reaching people. And that message of oneness that is so vital to the continuation of life on this planet, really, that fundamental understanding of our unity and our equality, it's just not reaching people. And that hurts. That's what hurts. I mean, obviously, it's also hurtful in another way that I won't be able to actually exist on the amount of money that I can make, but that's irrelevant to the fact that this is not reaching people. And it's not, it's just not, it's not, I really need to stress this, it's not in any way a criticism, nor is it some sort of weeping lament because I'm not getting fame or glory. That is absolutely not important to me. That's why I don't appear in the videos. It is not about me. It's not my cult of personality. I do not care if my name is not remembered for more than 5 minutes or in posterity. I don't care about that at all. What I care about passionately is the promoting the deep empathy for all beings, for all our relations. So with that in mind, I have to ask you this, and I'm sorry I have to ask you this, but I feel I do. Can you, if you are at all able, write a review, link to this work on your website, share my images with a credit, not because of my fame and glory, but just because it is my work, and that's just a basic fact. Can you share the images on Instagram or do something? Anything on Facebook? I don't know how that works because I'm not on it and I can't be on it. All of those things I can't do, and I need to explain why I can't do them, otherwise you'll think, well, go and do it yourself, and then that does get a bit more personal. I don't want to go into too much detail, I don't want to bore you, and I don't want to share too much about me because it isn't about me, but I do need to explain that I can barely type now, and due to a combination of neurological problems, chronic pain, and now difficulties with my hands, which is why I am very reluctant to show my hands in a video because they are very bent and twisted, getting worse with the pain. I can't even email my friends. I can't even communicate with them that way. It's getting incredibly difficult for me to communicate with people that I know, let alone anybody else. And just writing the comments underneath the videos is very difficult. It's very time consuming and very painful. But I really want to do it because I love your comments and I am so grateful for your comments. They mean everything to me. So I will keep doing that. But that's about all I can do. I can't use a computer to promote this work any more than I'm already doing. I really can't do it. If I could, I would. I push myself very hard, but I can't do any more than I'm doing. And what I'm doing is not enough. And I can just about cope with Twitter, which is really not reaching very many people, I have to say. It's not doing what I thought it would, because Twitter only relies on you writing a very short piece, and I can put a photograph with it or link to a video, and that's all I can do. Besides that, I am so limited, and that is, it's I accept that, but I have to also accept that now is the time that I've got to ask for your help. And that's what I'm doing. I'm sorry, but I am. And I value you enough to know that you won't find that to be an insulting sort of thing. You know that I'm doing it with a good intention and because I have to, and not just because I'm trying to use people in any way. I've got way too much integrity and dignity. I hold those things absolutely, those things are so precious to me to have those things. I'm not e-begging, and I'm extremely reluctant to ask for any support, but I trust you enough to know that you'll understand why I'm doing it, basically. I have to throw a basically in there. It wouldn't be a video without one, would it? And I fear that if I don't ask you now, then this tarot with its message of compassion and connectedness and the magic of life is going to go the same way as my first Wild Spirit deck did, and it will get remaindered quite quickly because things obviously are not going well with this deck despite all my best hopes. Which leads me on to my next point. Now I'm going to have to try and move this out of the way. Well, hang on. Oh, lovely view of a countertop there. But look, here comes the next thing. Here are some cards from my Wild Spirit deck. Try and get as many as I can. Just a little sample from my Wild Spirit deck. So my next question is, would you like to see this deck back in print? Because that would be my next project. If you would, then it would mean me redrawing 78 images, because I did this a long time ago. Lots of things have happened to me since then. A lot of the images have got lost and damaged. They got damaged in the process of sending them to America because it was all done literally in hard copy then, and not through electronic copies. So all the work needs to be redrawn, and I am very slow because of the problems that I've described earlier. I am not quick. So I will do this. I will recraft all these lovely images, putting all my heart into them, making them as beautiful as possible without losing any of the original essence of the card. But I'll need to redraw them all, 78 images. So even if I did one a day, which will be impossible, that's 78 days clearly. And I'd also have to rewrite the book, because I have not got the copy of the book on a disc or a drive or anything else. I don't know where it is. And this is going to be another very painful labour of love, but I want to do it. I want this to be back out, but only if you want it too. I think you do. I'd love to hear if you do. That's the impression I've got over the years, that people want to see it again and want to be able to own it. But it's going to be at least, at the minimum, another year of full-time work on this and doing nothing else. I can't physically do anything else while I'll be working on this. Because of the things I've described earlier, predominantly the pain, and so there wouldn't be any other income. I would just be doing this, putting all my heart into it. With that in mind, do you think, can you give me some feedback, please, 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 do you think that it would be acceptable for me to then ask for some sort of Patreon type thing? I'm sure there are others. You can probably advise me, because I'm not able to spend a long time on the computer and I'm not that well up on things that are going on. I don't know whether there are other ways, but would a Patreon type thing be appropriate to tide me over just a little bit while I'm doing that project? Do you think that would be feasible? It's not what I'm going to do. I'm asking your advice. Do you think that would be an acceptable way forward for that to come out? I had hoped that the everyday enchantment royalties might have seen me through that year to help me produce this next project, but obviously that's not going to happen. This couldn't even see me through a week, really. So now I've got to ask, and I hate having to ask, but I'm being practical and pragmatic and putting the work before my pride, basically, again. So please, can you give me your thoughts on that without feeling that I'm in any way putting on you or asking something that, you know, is really not my place to ask. I'm at a point where I either need to ask you or I need to give up on this. What else can I say? It just getting that royalty check today just made me realise that I need to find another way of doing things. Otherwise, I'm going to have to stop my creative work. And it's not just stopping the creative work, which means everything to me. It's my whole life. It's not just that. It's the ethos behind it. It's the message behind it. It's not just the pictures, or it's that dance of life. It's the interconnectedness of all beings. It's the things that I feel that it's not being said enough. And it's not being said in the way that I can say it. Obviously, I feel like I've got a way of saying it that nobody else is doing. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. And I'm not saying that it's better or greater or anything else. It's just that it's needed, I feel. If I didn't feel that, I wouldn't be doing it, because I'm certainly not doing it for financial reward or glory. So I hope I've got all that across. I just need to get some feedback, because I'm at a loss now. That's really thrown me. I had no idea that I was going to not be able to support myself with what came from the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. And what was more frightening is the fact that it isn't selling, and therefore it might disappear soon. So I'll leave that there. Please, 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 please do comment, say something, do whatever you can to either share with me what you feel or share the work with somebody else. I'd be so grateful. Not for myself, doesn't matter. It's because I believe in this, and I hope you do too. Otherwise you wouldn't be here listening to me going on about it, would you? You wouldn't come back and watch another video, and I hope you will. And the next one, as I said, will be about judgment, because that's the one that came up, and I'm doing my Major Arcana series with the cards that come up as being important, and obviously that one was. So I'll just come down here so you can have a little glimpse of these before I sign off. Some of the cards from the Wild Spirit deck. and creaky shoe. You could hear that, that's what it was. Yeah, please join me again. I'm going to try and make another video on judgment, hopefully this weekend. So while I'm in that judgmenty frame of thinking and experiencing, so come back soon and join me. And whatever you do, just leave, even if you just do a like, that would be good, please. That would be really great. I'd so appreciate it with all my heart. Thank you so much, and normal service will be resumed in the next video. So for now, take care of yourselves, and please take care of all other beings that you encounter, because we're all one. Lots of love. Bye.